Falcons versus Rams. Falcons came out firing. I always say this in playoff games. It's always important to have experience, and the Falcons just had experience. I mean, they played well. They knew what they had to do to win the game, and they came out sharp. And I think the big problem with the Rams was that they had Pro Bowlers on special teams, and their special teams sucked. He muffed the first one, but I don't blame him for that one because it went off of the foot of the other guy. But the second one went for a touchdown in the second quarter. Devontae Freeman, obviously, they shoved him in for a yard. So that was a huge difference. Down 13-0 already. That's difficult to come back from, down 2 scores. But they came back. They threw a touchdown at Cooper Kupp, got a Sam Ficken field goal, and I thought at 13-10 they had a pretty decent half. It was almost like they reset most of the lead, and they had a chance in the second half to come back and play well. I don't know what happened to them offensively. Defensively, I think they played as well as they probably could have against Matt Ryan and the Falcons. Matt Ryan and the Falcons have a high potent offense, and they took 10 points off turnovers in the first half. So I thought, okay, second half, these guys are going to come out, they're going to play a clean game, and they're going to be fine. But third quarter, they didn't do anything offensively. Falcons got 2 field goals, 19-10. You still kind of got a chance, but they drove down, wasted yet another opportunity with a field goal, a Sam Ficken field goal. The kicker played well. You can't blame the kicker. You can't blame anybody. I think what you have to blame, if anything, is I think the inexperience. I think the fact that they didn't call the right plays, because that Falcons defense really, really showed up, and I feel really bad for the Rams because they had a really successful season. And I feel like the number one offense shouldn't have played that bad. So I just think it maybe was inexperience, jitters, maybe them just being down early changed the entire game plan. And then, of course, they let up. Their defense sort of disappointed me a little bit as well. They have solid defense, but you can't keep them on the field and expect them to keep stopping Matt Ryan. So Matt Ryan took down a drive, 52-yard screen pass to Mohamed Sanu, and then he threw that rainbow touchdown pass to Julio Jones. That was basically the game sealer. Jared Goff drove back. They threw one to Tyler Higbee, I think, for a touchdown. And then he had a huge gain on that play as well that helped them. But he threw a touchdown, and it went all the way down to 26-19. They had a chance, but it was called back. And on fourth down, they couldn't throw in a touchdown, so that was basically the end of that. So the Rams, they played well enough in this game to where they could have won if they'd capitalized on all the missed opportunities that they had. And the Falcons played well enough to the point where if the Rams had played better, it might have been actually a shootout game. It was an alright fun game. You could see that the Falcons were obviously better in terms of experience, and you could see they were playing a lot better even from the beginning of the game. There were a lot of jitters for the Rams, and they both had 3 and outs early on, so both of them were kind of jittery. The Falcons weren't really that good in the regular season this year. They were 10-6, but they really pushed it this year. They didn't play as well as they did last year with Kyle Shanahan in that offense. This year they have Steve Sarkisian as the OC. They played it. See, I think the Falcons were the team that was sharper because they came out with a game plan that was not better, but I think they executed their game plan better than the Rams executed their game plan. Sean McVay is obviously a great young coach, but when you're young, sometimes it gets in the way of it gets in the way of you don't have experience, you don't know what to do in that situation. But Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, they've already been there. Dan Quinn is a great coach. I feel like Dan Quinn is probably a better coach than Sean McVay at this point because Dan Quinn has led a Super Bowl team, and he was the D coordinator in Seattle before this. So I think Dan Quinn is the more experienced, better coach in this situation in the playoffs. And I was surprised to see them do it on the road. I thought it would be hard because on the road, it's usually harder because of the crowd and stuff. But they were able to get rid of everything, atmosphere, everything, first LA game. Roger Goodell was there, I saw him. But, I mean, it's just, I guess you just have to sort of, I guess in football, you just sort of have to put it all together and play well. It just wasn't a complete game. They just played completely crappy. And then they were like, oh, yeah, we're going to try to win. Oh, yo. And then they started trying to win too late. And then you just can't do anything past that point. It was kind of sad, to be honest, because I felt like they had a chance in the third quarter where they could have went down, scored a touchdown. Game would have been close. But they couldn't put it, even in the first half at least, they were able to get 10 points in the second half. Completely shut out. All they had was a field goal, and they missed the second touchdown, like I said, because it was called back. But, I mean, defensively, you can't really do anything when you keep punting the ball back. I mean, Matt Ryan is one of the most dangerous quarterbacks, Kyle Shanahan or not. I mean, we all know Matt Ryan has a lot of experience, and Matt Ryan is probably pissed after last year's Super Bowl collapse, and now they get to face the Philadelphia Eagles, #1 seed. I mean, that'll be an interesting game. I think Nick Foles will make that game interesting. I think it could be a shootout. You never know, but I like this Atlanta defense. I think the Atlanta defense is possibly better than the Rams defense. I think the Rams defense has better names, but they're like to Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley was limited to only 101 yards rushing. I mean, Todd Gurley had like 40 of those in the fourth quarter, so they didn't have anything going running game wise, passing. All their receivers were dropping a lot of balls, special teams errors all over the place. They didn't have the clean game plan, like I said earlier, that they needed to win this game. And the Falcons had the clean game plan. Dan Quinn is the better coach, and now they'll go on to face the #1 seed of Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia, which I think will be a great game. I think because Philadelphia's defense is going to keep them in it. I think it's going to be probably an up and down game, but we'll see what happens. I like the Rams. I really thought in my playoff picks, I picked them to win this week because I thought just because they're MVP, I thought Todd Gurley was going to show up. Thought they were going to play well, but that wasn't the case. You know, you have bad weeks in the NFL. You just hate when it's the playoffs and you lose and you're out. But, I mean, good season for them, the Rams. You know, they went pretty well. I mean, if you get a couple games that could go their way, like the Eagles game, if they get that to go their way, and they get maybe the Vikings game to go their way, they get that. They steal probably the #1 seed in the bye. But, hey, great successful season, second season in LA, playing really, really well at the Coliseum. Still building that team chemistry, you know. Going from the league's worst offense to the best offense. So, LA Rams are building on something, but their special teams gas and everything sort of screwed them over. Falcons advance. We'll see what happens with them. They're still not out of it, so we'll see.